What up? I'm Evil Squeegee. Welcome back to my YouTube. I don't know why I'm YouTube. Can you do that, Dio? Can you be like YouTube?
You want me to go YouTube?
YouTube. It's like a train.
I like it.
Chugga 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 YouTube.
I like it.
Welcome to session 1 of Kularia. This is my playtest for my indie TTRPG ArcWorld, which is a powered by the apocalypse setting agnostic system focused on telling character-driven stories. And we can just dive in.
Yeah, let's do it.
We just go. All right, so we have a secret map over here that we can't show you because reasons.
Because reasons?
Because reasons.
Is it because like DMCA reasons? Oh, maybe.
Well, I didn't have access to any tools to draw a map with, so I borrowed a map from another setting and just relabeled it.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. It's a pundos.
So, it's a pundos. Welcome to chat, pundos. YouTube. All right.
Love it.
Seriously though, we're getting started. Where did my notes go? Here they are. All right. So you are riding your horse, right, on a trail leading north into Whitebridge.
Okay.
You're still about a day's travel away, and the moon is raising in the sky, so you're starting to look out for a place to camp, right? And the Duchy of Middlesex has the capital city of Whitebridge, which is where you're going. And Whitebridge gets its name from the surrounding countryside of rolling hills and tall, unchecked, very pale white grass that kind of sways in the breeze underneath the light of the new moon. It is actually New Year's Eve, or not New Year's Eve. It is New Year's Day.
Okay.
In Kularia.
Okay.
And as you are kind of riding along the road, you encounter a broken down wagon, and there is a person who, at a distance, the only detail you can notice is they have an elven technology arm, like a cyborg arm.
Okay.
And they are like collapsed next to this broken down wagon and bleeding. What do you do?
I think I'm gonna stop and offer to help them.
Okay. So you how far back do you get off your horse?
How far away am I when I notice them?
You're probably like 100 feet away.
I'd probably get about 10 feet, like, get off about 10 feet.
Okay.
So I'm close enough that I could get a better look at the situation before I actually get off my horse.
Yep.
Excuse me.
So you get off your horse, and I assume you approach the individual.
Yes.
And she is, like, she's got her back turned to you, and she's kind of like sprawled out on the ground. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you kneel down to like reach out and help, and you start talking,
mm-hmm.
she rolls over, pulls out a sword, and takes a swipe at you.
Oh, bitch, really?
She takes a swipe at you, and 2 more bandits come out from hiding behind the wagon. One of them has a pink mohawk, and the other one is just a gargantuan human being with a huge sword. And at this point, this is where we're gonna break into the clash beat. Let me find it in the rules here. That's not it. That's not it. Where did it go?
By the way, I was drumming my fingers on the back of my cat to imitate the horse, and he did not appreciate that. He was like, "Excuse, what is happening?" I was like, "You're the horse. It's fine."
Okay. Whenever 2 groups of characters begin to directly struggle against each other because their goals are completely opposed and the table wants to play it out in detail, such as haggling for good prices, convincing a judge and jury of someone and it's their guild, outright combat, or a game of chess or poker, pause the RP to clearly define who belongs to what team. So we have you and your horse, and we have 3 bandits.
Right. The music got like super dramatic, by the way. It's amazing.
Once that is done, define each team's goals in terms that are more narratively direct than win the clash or some simple variant thereof. Consider why your team wants to win this clash. That is their goal. You should always avoid goals of kill the other guys, as that is a means to an end unless you are reaching a climax of an utter climax of the campaign. So, the bandits want to take your stuff. You are escorting, by the way, I can't believe I forgot to tell you this, you are escorting a box.
Oh.
To a bishop in Whitebridge, right? So you're headed to Whitebridge to talk to the Bishop of Whitebridge and hand them a box and get paid for a job because you're an adventurer and that's what you do.
Okay.
So you have to protect the box. And I'm probably going to say that protecting the box is your objective.
Yes.
The bandits want to take your stuff. Okay. Once all those are stated for both teams, determine how many victory points those teams need to earn. The target of victory points this team starts at. Okay, we're gonna start at 1. I gotta have notepad. Notepad. Okay, so PC, NPC. Okay, so you both have a target number of 1 to reach. There are not 2 more player characters. Your team doesn't. The NPCs have 2 points to get. They get an extra point because they're just mooks, and you are the main character. That puts them at a disadvantage.
Okay.
So because they're at a disadvantage, they get an extra point. And then +1 if your team has a goal that requires significantly more effort than your opponents. And neither team has that. Okay, then we multiply by the number of PCs in the largest team. Okay, we can now get back into the action here. So what's going to happen here is you have the objective of protecting the box, right?
Right.
So the bandits are they're starting to surround you, and one of them is really huge and pulls out a buster sword.
Okay.
Right? What do you do?
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break into my magics, and
okay.
I would like to cast Eldritch Prime to create a stone like ring around the box that's like tall enough that they can't breach it.
Okay. Where is the box right now?
I'm gonna say it's probably around on my horse. So I'm actually going to cause this to go up around the horse.
Okay. That sounds like you're doing the magic thing.
I am.
So go ahead and roll me
2d6
2d6 plus mage.
2d6 plus mage.
Now, if you roll well here, you're gonna earn a victory point, right? And if you roll poorly, the bad guys are gonna earn a victory point.
Okay. So let's hope that my dice don't suck, because these are my metal dice and they roll for shit. So that is 6 and that's an 11. Hell yes.
All right. So on 11 you get a good result.
Yes.
And because we're currently in a clash, that means that you get victory points out of your action.
Yay.
So describe your spell going off.
So basically, I kneel down, right, to check on her, and as soon as she turns the sword on me, I like just press my fingers into the dirt around me, and as I stand up, I drop the dirt and the pebbles in my hand, and that as the dirt and the pebbles hit the ground, a wall of stone just circles the horse and comes up out of the ground around it.
All right. So you earn a victory point, and you only had to earn 1 victory point to win the clash. So at this point, the bandits, realizing that they just picked on a mage, they take a step back, because you don't want to fuck with magic if you don't understand it.
Yeah.
And these bandits clearly are reassessing the situation. And the one with the big sword sheaths his blade, puts his hands up, takes a couple steps back, and then just bolts off into the tall grass.
Awesome.
The other 2 will scramble to their feet and also bolt off into the tall grass unless you stop them.
No, I think I'm just gonna let them go.
Okay.
I gotta deliver a box.
So that leaves you with your horse in a big stone circle and a broken down wagon full of stuff.
We're obviously gonna loot the wagon.
Alright. The wagon has been mostly stripped of valuables to begin with because the bandits have already been here.
Sure.
But you do find some food.
Okay.
So go ahead and write down that you have. Let's talk about resources for a second. You're gonna have 3 out of 3 supplies, 0 out of 3 exhaustion.
3 out of 3 supplies. You said 0 out of
0 out of 3 exhaustion. Well, you're about to make camp because it's nighttime.
Okay.
So you'll have 0 exhaustion when you wake up.
Wait, I'm sorry, say that again?
You're about to make camp. Is because it's nighttime rather than traveling in the night when it's dangerous. So you'll have 0 exhaustion when you wake up.
Okay. You said I found
And we're going to add to those conditions and resources as the game goes on.
Okay.
And manipulate them to reflect the story. So what do you do in terms of striking camp? The moon is starting to rise into the sky, it's getting dark out, you're starting to see the stars. And you don't want to be caught traveling alone at night, because those bandits that you just ran into are the least of your worries. There's wild wolves, there's any number of things that you could bump into, like demon cultists or anything out here.
Well, I think Are there any trees or anything around me?
Or
Or is this
what are the roles? There's thief, fighter, mage, and bard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which of those roles do you think, which of those classes would be better at finding a place to strike camp?
Wait, tell me them again?
Thief, fighter, mage, and bard.
I almost feel like the thief or the fighter might be better at them.
Okay, we'll go with thief. You're looking for trees or a big rock or something to strike camp underneath, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so go ahead and roll me do the thief thing.
Do the thief thing. That's gonna be my dice plus 1. Oh, fuck. That's a 6.
Alright, so, underneath do the thief thing. Oh, I'm scrolling through the wrong document here. ArcWorld beta. Where's do the thing? There's clash. There's dynamite. Gain the resource. Do the roll thing. On a bad result, the story does not favor the character. They either fail to get there after or they achieve it, but their success turns out to be undesirable. In addition, choose one of the following. You could choose status down date, which experience a detrimental status change. A turn for the worse. You could experience a detrimental resource change. Or bad news, everyone. Create some tangentially negative impact on the situation beyond your character's intent. Lead an opportunity. Create a situation that threatens the character with their flaw. Or the mouth. The problem at hand can only be solved with a boon the character has been holding onto this whole time.
There's the botch I bought. Damn you, Tice. Also, thank you for the bits, Tice. I'm gonna say let's take a hit to the resources.
Alright. So you managed to find a decent enough place to strike camp underneath the tree. And it does a decent job of like shielding you from the weather that night as it starts to rain, but it is cold and rainy, and you're gonna pick up a point of exhaustion.
Okay.
So you're gonna wake up with 1 point of exhaustion instead of 0.
Okay.
As you're setting up camp that night, at just before the rain starts, you hear and you look up into the sky and you can see a shooting star.
Okay.
And then you realize that shooting star is going straight to land nearby, and then it vanishes into the grass, basically, and you feel the earth rumble as the shooting star impacts into the earth.
Whoa, okay.
But that's neither here nor there. That's just like a whoa moment, right?
Right.
And nothing else seems to happen that evening. You're lucky that you don't get caught by any bandits when you're asleep.
Yes.
This is one of the reasons why you never take a mission by yourself. Is because you need somebody to
keep watch.
Keep watch. But you couldn't find anybody to take this mission with, so here you are all by yourself. Hopefully, when you reach Whitebridge, you'll be able to stop by the Mercenaries Guild and hire some help for your next adventure there. But for now, you're kind of stuck all on your own, just barely hoping that nothing happens to you while you sleep. And you wake up the next morning feeling a little damp and a little exhausted. But otherwise fine.
Okay.
And you can pack up your camp and move on to your horse and keep trucking.
Excellent.
So the following day, you hop on your horse and you head to the city of Whitebridge. Okay. And it takes you about half a day to reach it. So you wake up in the morning. It's a little past noon when you come up on the walls of Whitebridge. And to your surprise, there are no guards out front of Whitebridge standing in front of the gates. There should be, but there aren't.
Okay.
And you're free to just kind of like push the big giant wooden doors open. You gotta get off your horse to do it, and you kind of like lead your horse through the gate.
Right.
Now, once you're in Whitebridge, excuse me, I'm the burps. I am the burps. Jesus. So once you reach the city of Whitebridge, it's a big bustling city. The city of Whitebridge has been growing and growing and growing because it's a seat of commerce. It's the trade capital of the kingdom.
Okay.
But it's been growing so fast that it can barely keep up with itself, which means that there's not enough resources to go around. And because there's not enough resources to go around, the gap between the highborn and the lowborn of the city is growing rapidly.
Okay.
And you can tell just by looking at somebody whether they are highborn or lowborn. Because the highborn have the money to afford the resources they need to get by, and the lowborn don't.
Okay.
Now, there are a couple of points of interest here for you. Where did I put that document? There it is. Right. So ultimately, your goal is to get to the castle.
Right.
Raven's Rest. Wherein hopefully you'll be let in to see the bishop, who is a member of the Duchess's court. But while you're here, there's also, I can just go down the list. There's Raven's Rest, which also contains the guardhouse, the royal agency, the dungeon. There's the Great Hall, which is where you want to go. Then there's also the notice board, which is someplace that you'll probably want to stop by eventually. The notice board is where locals will post quests that they need completed by adventurers. There's the stables, the cathedral. You'll want to stop by the stables, actually, to drop off your horse, because you don't ride your horse through the city.
Right.
There's the cathedral, there's the slum, there's the storm districts where the highborn lived, and there's the marketplace. The marketplace is the most famous landmark in the entire city.
What did you call the district where the Highborn live?
The Storm District.
Storm District.
There's the bathhouses, the Mercenaries Guild Hall, and then there's always the taverns.
Okay.
So once you've stopped in, once you've gotten off your horse and you're kind of like leading your horse along, the first stop is going to be the stables, which are right inside the gates.
Okay.
Where did I put the stables? The stables have a big sign hanging right out front called Shoemasters. And there are two men who are clearly they work here, right? They're busy, like one of them is shoveling out a stable cell, and the other one is like poring over a book and writing down paperwork stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The one going over paperwork is heavyset, hairy, and has a jolly expression on his face. The one that's shoveling out the cell is bald with a beard and very thin.
Okay.
And neither of them, they're both so absorbed in their work that neither of them really notice you as you approach with your horse. What do you do?
I will obviously approach and try to get their attention. I might just call out to them. Be like, hey.
Alright, so you say hey, and the one with the bald one with the beard who's doing the shoveling kind of like stops and freezes and looks over at you.
Mm-hmm.
And then looks over at the guy who's poring over the paperwork, and they have a moment of like, are you? Am I? Are you? And finally, the one with the shovel will set the shovel down and kind of dust off his hands and approach and kind of like shyly say, hey, welcome to Shoemasters. I'm Bruce. How can I help you?
Hey, Bruce. I need to, I guess, set up my horse for the day. I've got business in the city.
Okay. Do you know how long you'll be staying?
Well, that depends on how long my business with the bishop lasts.
Oh, fancy talking to the bishop. Okay. Yeah. So we have a fee to just store your horse here, and then when you pick up your horse based on how long it's been, you'll owe more or less. And he'll look over at the guy who's doing his paperwork, and the guy doing the paperwork is like gives him the double thumbs up, like, you're doing great. And so there'll be an exchange of money, and you'll get a slip, and you can leave your horse. What is your horse's name, by the way?
My horse's name is... what is my horse's name? You know, as soon as we give him a name, you're gonna kill it. Maybe we shouldn't name the horse. No, oh. What should we... Gazelle? It is the RP mirror. We're not naming the horse Gazelle. Oh, what should
Do you need to visit Fantasy Name Generator?
Yes. Because my brain has gone blank. So fantasy, hello, keyboard. Here we go. Oh, hi, the cat has returned.
Oh, hello, kitty.
No, buddy. He says, I hear you're naming animals, and I'm offended. Horse names.
I had the same thought, Tice. Tice says you could name it after your cat.
I could. The horse's name is Pebbles.
Pebbles. All right, so the shy guy with the beard and the bald head will very much like pat Pebbles on the head and feed him like a slice of apple.
Aww.
And immediately start like completely forgets that he's talking to you in the first place. You've settled your business basically, so as soon as the business is settled, he immediately just like is absorbed in this horse.
Okay.
And now that you've deposited Pebbles, what's your first stop?
So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is try to go straight to Oh, cat, I love you, but Jesus. Yeah, I think the first thing I'm gonna do is go straight to Castle Raven's Rest to try to see the bishop to make this delivery.
Okay. So you start navigating through the city, and you have to pass through the market. The market is just bustling. There's just people everywhere. There's people in stalls. There's people in the street. It's like a festival. There's just constant shouting, get your food here, get your potions. Just everything that you could imagine being hawked and sold at seemingly amazing prices. Bargains so intense they'll make your mother faint, right?
Right.
And so you cut through there and you go, the most direct route would have been to go past the cathedral, but as you go to navigate the cathedral, you can see where there used to be this, because you've been to Whitebridge before, there used to be this beautiful towering structure of like gorgeous architecture and engraved building with like stained glass windows and huge doors and a fountain in front, but instead the whole building has been crushed and is collapsed in on itself, and there's just smoke coming up from the center of these ruined cathedral rubble, and the guards won't let you anywhere near it.
What happened here?
Shooting star came down last night and just wrecked the place. And the guard is like, he's talking to you while he's also trying to keep other people from investigating. Nothing to see here. It's all under control.
I felt that.
He says, yeah, lucky you weren't in the city when it happened.
Yeah. Was anybody hurt?
He says, well, the cathedral was full of people.
Oh, God.
You might want to keep your distance. There's been strange noises and weird sightings in the cathedral since the meteor landed.
Okay.
And he rushes over real quick to now that he said that to you, he just rushes over to stop somebody else from walking up to the cathedral.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave you guys to it, and I'm gonna make my way for now to the castle.
All right. So you've got a more securitous. Hold on. Now I have to know. Circuitous. That's a circuitous.
You're fine, Ashlyn. We started at noon. You're good. It's not quite.
Longer than the most direct route.
Okay.
Sir Q Eathouse, thank you. Path, but eventually you make it to Castle Ravenloft. Ravenloft? No, Raven's Rest. Wow.
Rest. Ravenloft is in Barovia, and no thank you. I don't need to be in there twice.
Incorrect campaign.
Incorrect game.
And there are guards out front this time, and they'll stop you as you approach. Halt! What's your business?
I have a delivery for the bishop.
And he kind of looks you up and down, and then looks at the other guard, and the other guard shrugs. The guard that you're talking to will step back, says, "All right, come through. Don't cause any trouble. I got my eye on you."
And I've got mine on you. And shoot, and I'm gonna wink, and I'm gonna keep walking.
Roll me do the bard thing.
She just flirted with a -1, y'all. That is an 8. No, that is a 6 because I have a -1. So I rolled a 7 -1. Yay.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and choose this one and say that you have a negative status now.
Fantastic.
You are, oops, I just opened up a program. You are being watched. Your status is being watched by the White Bridge guards.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So, like, this guard is completely unimpressed and is just goes back to his post and keeps his eye on you as you walk by and you go through the door. So you head through the doors into Castle Raven's Rest. And, Castle Raven's Rest, where did I put my notes for you? You are right over here, aren't you? So as you walk through, again, another really tall set of big doors, there's a small staircase just ahead of you, and the ceiling the ceiling is really high up there, right?
Okay.
And there are pillars on either side of you, kind of spaced out, that are holding up balconies that look over the proceedings. And so you get this sense of like you're walking into this castle and just immediately the Great Hall is right in front of you. And there's a fireplace with the roaring fire like right in the middle of the building. Like a fire pit that's got like a stuck pig kind of like rotating as one of the servants is slowly rotating the spit.
Okay.
And there are these two really long tables that have like nobles and like courtsmen kind of just sitting there eating, talking amongst themselves. And then past those two long tables is the Duchess sitting on her throne, talking, looking off to the side, being completely and utterly distracted by this clearly commoner girl. And she's doing that thing where she's like, yeah, like pretending to listen to her steward, who is standing right next to her.
Okay.
And you are looking for the bishop, and the bishop is, you have to kind of like look around for the uniform, the collar, the maybe a habit.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I put the bishop? All right, and eventually you find you settle on a short woman wearing a habit and a collar and like black robes with a silver necklace with a holy symbol of the 3 on her neck. Now it's important to note that the city of Whitebridge is the capital of Middlesex, and Middlesex hasn't taken a side in the Civil War yet.
Okay.
Now, depending on who you talk to, that means they have taken a side, because not taking a side and carrying on with business as usual is like the Iron Army would accuse Middlesex of siding with the traditionalists.
Mm-hmm.
And the Iron Army bans the worship of Ganax, which is one of the 3. In the Iron Army, they worship the 2, not the 3.
Okay.
So the bishop has a holy symbol of the 3 hanging around her neck. And you approach, and what do you do?
I would probably approach, and as I approach, I'm going to pull the box out so that it's visible, and I would just use whatever the appropriate title would be to address a bishop, and just let them know my purpose of being here. Like, introduce myself and say I have a delivery for you.
The bishop will kind of like pick up a napkin and pat down to her lips, and set the napkin down and look over and listen as you explain that you've been charged with this box. You were charged by the Duke of Elvenwood, who's just to the south.
Okay.
To deliver this box to this bishop. And the bishop nods and takes the box from you and says, if you're looking for work, then the Duchess is looking for adventurers to help with the situation with the cathedral.
Okay.
She seems very insistent on turning whatever adventurers she encounters towards the Duchess for looking at the cathedral. And it makes sense. The cathedral in the capital city that she is the bishop of just got wrecked. Like, that'd be the first thing on her mind, right?
Right. Well, we all know that I have the curiosity flaw, so of course I want in on this.
Okay.
Because it's a shooting star. It fell on a cathedral, and now weird shit's happening at the cathedral, and my curiosity is going to get the better of me.
Okay. So what do you do?
I will bow to the bishop, and I will make my way over to the Duchess and present myself to the Duchess.
All right, so as you are making your way over to the Duchess, a red-haired woman wearing armor and with a drawn sword will hold out her hand and say, "Stop. What business do you have with the Duchess?"
The bishop has actually referred me to the Duchess regarding business at the cathedral. I understand that she is looking for adventurers to aid in getting that mess cleared up, and I thought I'd offer my assistance.
She gives you, she looks you up and down and roll me do the bard thing.
Yay! Oh no! No! I rolled a 3, -1, that is a 2. Oh, it's the best day ever. Hello, how are you? It's good to see you. My horse is not evil, Tice. Pebbles is just really cute.
Okay, so you, do you want a negative status? Do you want a detrimental resource change? Or do you want to create some tangentially difficult situation?
Let's create some difficult situations.
So the knight captain who has stopped you will look you up and down and sigh. And sheath her sword. And she kind of like runs her hand through her curly orange locks in exasperation. And she says, "The Duchess is busy right now," and looks over her shoulder, and she says the word busy in this like annoyed tone.
Okay.
And she looks over, and the Duchess is clearly not paying attention to what the steward is telling her, and is instead flirting across the room, making eyes at somebody. Right? And she says, and the knight captain says, "However, if you were to bring this up to the steward, I imagine you would get all the information you need."
All right, I will talk to the steward.
Weirdness. As someone from the UK, it's weird to keep hearing Middlesex in a non-historical setting. My brain seems to be putting the setting in the same place as Blackadder now. It's funny because Massachusetts has a whole bunch of, like, their names are just straight up from the UK, and I actually lived in Middlesex County for a while. So the steward You will be escorted because you're being watched by the guard. The night captain will escort you over to the steward and say, "Excuse me," and motion to you. And the steward is a. Oh, I must have sat on my keyboard there in the middle of typing. The steward is a green-eyed woman. And she turns to look at you and then looks at the night captain and says, this lady here would like to help with the situation at the cathedral. And the steward kind of like, "Oh, thank God," and offers her hand and say, "Hi, I am Brenda Marks de Ganaxia."
And I am Paisley Mechanica de Actasha. Oh, that's a mouthful.
I have been afforded a budget of 500 coins to hire any mercenaries that would be willing to investigate the situation at the cathedral. Are you interested?
Absolutely.
All right. And so she will motion for you to follow as she leads you off to the side, away from everybody, away from prying ears and prying eyes. And she'll eventually bring you to a table with 2 chairs, one on either side, and she'll sit in one side of the chair and she'll motion for you to sit in the other, and you can sit down.
Okay, I will absolutely do that. Her name was Brenda.
Oh, the steward. Brenda Marks de Ganaxia.
Brenda Marks. Okay.
So Brenda will explain to you that the cathedral has been absolutely demolished, and they need people to go in to dig up any survivors or find out what's going on. And there have been reports from the guard of the undead crawling their way out of the cathedral, and that isn't publicly known. And the guards are so busy just trying to contain the threat from spreading out into the rest of the city that they haven't been able to go in. And so they need an adventurer to go in. And you will be afforded a slip of paper that's basically that is basically saying the Duchess will pay for this if you need to go to the Mercenaries Guild to hire help for the mission.
Okay. I will definitely need to do that.
Look at you taking all those notes.
Because my memory is garbage. Every time I hear Middlesex, I think of As Time Goes By, and Lionel Hardcastle is part of the Middlesex Regiment. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this game.
Okay, so once the steward stands up and goes back to hopelessly trying to catch the Duchess's attention, what do you do?
You know, as tempting as it is to try to distract the distraction from the Duchess, I think I'm just going to not press my luck, and I'm going to... Because I'm already being watched, and the dice have not been kind to me, so I am going to just go ahead and, I'm going to head over to, you said it was the Mercenaries Guild?
Yep.
So I will head there and try to maybe hire a mercenary or two with the Duchess's money.
Okay. There's the notice board, there's Raven's Rest, there's Shoemasters, the Cathedral, the Marketplace, Mercenaries Guild Hall. Okay. So the Mercenaries Guild Hall is is a rather plain and Spartan looking building, and it it doesn't have fancy big doors, it just has a door. It doesn't have stained glass windows, it just has windows. It doesn't have battlements on top, it's just a building, right? It is a surprisingly plain looking building, given that the Mercenaries Guild is famous throughout the entire kingdom for being an effective place to find mercenaries willing to do all kinds of things. You were expecting more from this building.
Okay.
And it just doesn't deliver. And as you push the door open and head on inside, a very thin, pretty, and dark-skinned girl looks up from behind a desk and says, "Hi, welcome to the Mercenaries Guild Hall. I am Sophia Sloan de Mulligana. And you are?"
My name is Paisley McKenna de Aktasha.
Hi, Paisley. How can I help you today?
Well, I am here to hire a couple of mercenaries to help with the investigation over the cathedral.
And at this point, notes.
And tell me her name again?
Her name was Sophia Sloan de Mulligana.
Okay.
As you're about to as she's about to open her mouth to say something, this very large, fat, strong-looking guy with a hefty blonde beard and chains around his waist and chains around his wrists, just kind of lumbers through and says, "I'm going to bed," to Sophia. And Sophia says, "No, you're not. You still have to do the paperwork from yesterday." And he grunts. He says, "Fuck the paperwork. If you just keep letting it pile up, it's never gonna get done." "Fine." And then he lumbers off. She says, "Don't mind Clint. He's always like this." And she'll push her chair back and stand up and says, "Perhaps you'd like to meet the talent?"
Sure.
As it turns out, with the war going on and everything, most of our mercenaries are out doing jobs right now, but we have some people still available.
Okay.
Let's see. And she pulls out a notebook and starts flipping through the pages and says, "Let's say Angela, Dawn, and Abigail. Yeah, that should be a good sampling." And then she closes the notebook and heads on over to down a hallway and motions for you to follow. So you follow her down this hallway, and she opens up these doors. The doors open up outside, and there's a bunch of people with training dummies practicing. Some of them are sparring, some of them are just doing their drills against the target dummies. And she do you offer her the paper slip saying that the Duchess is going to pay, or no?
Yes. Actually, I would.
All right, so she takes the paper and she says, "Okay, this is good for one merc."
Okay.
And she folds it up and she says, "And you get your pick." She says, "This is Abigail." And she motions over to a very tall woman with a very fucking giant sword on her back, who's punching the target dummies. And she calls over, "Abigail!" And Abigail turns around and says, "What?" And Sophia motions for her to come over, and so Abigail comes over and goes, "Oh, a job." And Sophia says, maybe. Don't get ahead of yourself." She says, "Abigail, this is Paisley. Paisley, this is Abigail." And Abigail will offer her very large hand and very chippery and happy be like, "Hello."
Hello.
What's the work?
And we're have been tasked to investigate the disaster at the cathedral.
Oh, I've heard all kinds of rumors about that. And Sophia will pat her on the shoulder, like, reach up and pat her on the shoulder and says, "We know you have, Abby. We know you have." And then she'll wave a hand, and Abby will go back to punching the target dummy.
Punch. Okay.
And then she will motion around and go, "Oh, where is Dawn? Where is Dawn?" And then a voice behind you be like, "I'm right here." And there was nobody standing there before Dawn was talking, right? So this is a bit of a moment. Fuck. And Dawn is a brunette and has double daggers at her waist. And she motions to Sophie, says, "You were looking for me. What of it?" And Sophia says, "Potential customer. Investigating the cathedral." And Dawn will give you one up and down look, and roll me do the bard thing.
We're gonna switch out dice. Hold, that worked. That is a 10 because I rolled an 11 minus 1.
Okay, a 10. On a 10 plus, you get a status update, which is a beneficial status change, a resource change, a tangentially positive effect on the situation, an opportunity for your character to achieve their fulfillment, or a boon that doesn't help you right now but will be useful later.
What was the one before you said the boon?
Create an opportunity for the character to achieve their fulfillment.
Let's go with that one.
Okay. Your fulfillment is friendship, right?
Yes. Weird, it's a bard success?
Okay. So she gives you one look up and down and goes, "I like you."
Okay. That...
You seem like you've got some chutzpah.
I've been told I have many things. Chutzpah is not one of them.
Well, you can mark that down as a new experience then.
Okay.
And Sophia will then motion for Dawn to make way, and we'll call Angela. Angela, and a red-headed girl in a wheelchair will spin her wheels and turn the wheelchair around. And this is a nice looking wheelchair. Like, you ever seen one of those high contact sport wheelchairs?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those. It's made out of metal. It's lightweight. It's got the wheels that are at a slant. It's got pouches and stuff. And she's got a bow and a gun on the back of the wheelchair that she could just reach over and pull out. And she's currently using the bow and firing at a target just over and over. And each shot that she lands keeps piercing down the center of the arrow from the last shot. So she's hitting the exact same spot in the bullseye over and over and over and over again. And Angela will look over as her name is called, and she'll spin the wheelchair around and wheel herself and her red hair all the way over to where you are and say, "What's up?" And Sophie will say, "Potential customer," and Angela says, "No, really," and offers her hand. "Hi, I'm Angie."
I will take Angela's hand. I'm Paisley. And I'm looking for some help investigating the cathedral.
The cathedral? She stops, she thinks, last time I went to the cathedral was like months ago.
Well, it got hit by a shooting star last night, and it's pretty much destroyed.
Why do you need a mercenary to go explore some ruins?
Because there are rumors of undead, there's crazy noises coming from it, and they need someone to help pull survivors and find out what the hell is going on under there.
Oh, sounds like my kind of gig.
Really?
She says, yeah, wouldn't be the first time I tangled with a zombie or two.
Huh. Out of character, do I have enough funds on me to also hire a mercenary?
You are starting the game broke, so we're gonna say no. 0 out of 3 wealth.
Okay.
As a resource to note that down. And Sophia will nod as you two get acquainted, and then will motion for Angie to go back to her archery practice. Weirdness says, "Rip Cathedral. I didn't know you, and I never will."
Yes.
And Sophia will then pull you aside back into the building and say, "Well, did any of those 3 catch your interest?"
If I could hire if I could hire them all, I would. Oh, it's very tough. Oh, this is so hard. But I think I'm gonna go with Dawn.
Dawn was
She was the sneaky brunette with the daggers.
She was the brunette with the daggers. She was kind of grumpy, a little taciturn.
Told me I had chutzpah.
Told you had chutzpah. All right. Sophia will nod and says, "All right, if you just wait in the lobby, I'll get her ready to go."
Okay.
About when will you be needing our services?
I would assume as soon as possible.
Okay. With that being said, she will head on out, and you can wait in the lobby. And as you're waiting in the lobby, that same fat, strong-looking guy with the heavy beard and the chains will lumber through the lobby and grumble about something about doing paperwork, and then slam some papers down on the receptionist's desk, and then just like meander on past you.
Have a nice day, Clint.
Thanks. I'm going to bed.
Sweet dreams.
And Clint will leave the building. And then Don Pere de Ganaxia will eventually appear in the lobby. Like you're looking around, you're just waiting, twiddling your thumbs, right? You turn your head one way, you turn your head the other way, and oh, there's Dawn. Like the inverse, you know how like Batman just vanishes when somebody looks away?
Yes.
This is like the opposite of Batman, where she just like appears when you look away.
Oh my god, is she Lanaya?
And Dawn kind of pats the daggers at her hips and says, "All right, boss, where to?"
We're heading to the cathedral, and you can just call me Paisley.
All right, Paisley. And she will rub her palms together and follow you out of the lobby. Now, normally this is the point where I'd be like, do you want to go to the marketplace and maybe buy some healing potions or anything like that? But you don't have any money right now.
We've established that I'm broke, so.
Yeah, it has been established that you are broke. So off to the cathedral you go. You have a little piece of paper saying that you've been hired by the Duchess to investigate. And you wait for the GM to find the GM's notes correctly. Where is there? So you approach the cathedral front doors, and this time a member of the Vigil, who you can identify because they are wearing the Vigil's tabard. It's a white tabard with like a red cross on the front.
Mm-hmm.
This person is bald. They have dark skin. They've got a tattoo over one eye, like there was a scar, but they made it into a tattoo instead.
Okay.
And he is talking to a blue-haired girl and a fat guy with a hook for a hand and pigtails, who's very nervous. And he's basically like militarily barking orders at these two poor people. And as you approach, he holds up a hand, finishes barking orders at these people, and they both scatter and head in opposite directions around the border of the cathedral. And then he turns and he says, "What do you want?"
We are here to help investigate what the hell's going on here, by order of the Duchess.
You get the paperwork?
Of course I have the paperwork, and I hand over the paperwork.
He takes the paper and he looks at it. He sniffs it. Alright. He hands it to you. He says, "Not my fault to get yourself killed in there." And he'll step aside and motion for you to go inside.
Alright. I just roll my eyes at him and walk past into the rubble.
Alright. And this is where the dungeon crawl begins. Your very first dungeon crawl.
Yay.
Hooray! For this next section, I have a special set of rules that I have hacked from Ironsworn. This is not part of the official rules for ArcWorld, but it is something that helps me prevent needing to prepare dungeons. And also, if later down the line you wind up with with another main character in the story, then I would be able to play with you because I wouldn't know what was coming up next.
Excellent.
So without further ado, I need to bring up the document that has it in it.
Let's do the thing.
The first thing that happens is when you delve deeper into a dungeon or similar dangerous place, roll plus mage if you are exploring through primarily magical means, plus thief if you are sneaking along through the area, and plus fighter if you are boldly venturing into the unknown.
I think for now we are sneaking.
We are sneaking. All right, roll me plus thief.
That is going to be a 10.
On a good result, gain a point of dungeon progress and find an opportunity.
Yay!
Dungeon progress. 1 point. Alright, beat, find an opportunity. When you find an opportunity as part of Delve Deeper, roll +1.
Roll +1?
Yep.
What does that mean?
It means roll and add 1.
Like 2d6?
Yep.
That would be an 8.
An 8. On a hot seat result, choose from one of the following. An aspect of the history of this place is revealed, the terrain favors you, or you find a hidden path, or you encounter a denizen in need of help.
I want to learn about the history of this place, so let's discover history of this place.
Alright, so as you first start venturing into the cathedral, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are these huge wooden doors that have been broken down, and you kind of like push them aside and you push them aside and kind of like crawl over them, and Dawn is right behind you.
Okay.
And so Dawn volunteers to scout ahead because that's what Dawn is good at.
Okay.
And she pulls out her daggers, and you can hear the groaning of the undead kind of like echoing around the ruins. And it's clear to you now that you, as you approach the center of the first floor, where the meteor actually struck, and all the smoke is pouring up, that this place was either built on top of a large system of catacombs, or the system of catacombs was built underneath the cathedral, because this is where everybody keeps their dead in the city of Whitebridge.
Okay.
And it has a long-standing tradition of this, because the meteor just dug down through floor after floor after floor after floor of catacombs made of stone. So you're kind of like looking over the edge of this pit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dawn breaks out a grappling hook and some rope and kind of like fastens the grappling hook and rope to a pillar or a big chunk of rock that's not going anywhere, and kind of tugs on it, makes sure it's tight, and throws the other end of the rope down the pit and says, "Down we go, I guess, right?"
Might as well.
Okay, so that sounds to me like you're delving deeper.
Yes.
Are you being sneaky? Are you boldly going where no fighter has gone before, or are you going to use magic to explore?
Can I use magic to be sneaky?
Yes.
Okay.
If you could explain how that works.
So I have a spell called Veiled Eyes.
Okay.
And basically when you cast the cantrip Veiled Eyes, it makes the target instantly forgettable. We're not invisible, but we're not worth noticing. So basically as we traverse through the things, it's possible that whatever looks at us, but it's like, not like, oh, they're like, we just kind of, we don't really blend in per se, but like nobody's, it's just like, oh, okay, that's not unusual for that thing to be there.
Okay, so you want to cast this spell on yourself, right?
I would like to cast this on me and on Dawn.
Okay, go ahead and roll me do the mage thing.
Do the mage thing. That is a 7 plus 1 is 8.
Okay. So let me find the rules. Core basic beat. On a hot seat, A for effort. You succeed, but it's not what you dreamed it would be. Figures. You succeed, but a whole new problem is introduced. Select an option from the good and bad option lists. Or nice try. You did not succeed, but the problem can still be resolved somehow. This method of solution is now blocked, but others may be open still.
Let's succeed, but it's not what we thought.
Okay. So do you explain what you're about to do to Dawn, or do you just do it?
I just do it.
Okay. So you go ahead and what does casting your spell look like?
In the case of Veiled Eyes, I think that, this is much harder. There's like dust and rubble around us, right?
Yep.
So I think I'm going to actually sweep up some of the dust in my hands. And
Yep.
I'm going to blow the dust out of my hands as I like kind of mutter something in like some weird like language. Let's say I make something up. I don't even know. And as I blow the dust, that's what causes the cantrip to fall over us, so that we're just not really kind of become unseen or unnoticeable.
Okay. It's not what you dreamed it would be. The problem is now you've made yourselves invisible to each other.
But the wording of the cantrip says we don't become invisible.
Well, I mean, you become ignore-worthy of each other.
Oh,
right?
Awesome! That's fantastic. We look elsewhere from each other. That's great. Okay.
So there's a rope there, and you were supposed to go down, and you're trying to be sneaky, so go ahead and roll me thief.
That is a 6.
Okay. Campaign sheet. On a bad result, you encounter a danger. When you encounter a danger as part of Delve Deeper, roll +1.
Okay. That is still a 6.
On a bad result, the GM chooses 2 from the following list. You encounter a hostile denizen, you face an environmental or architectural hazard, a discovery undermines or complicates your quests, you confront a harrowing situation or sensation, you face the consequences of an earlier approach or choice, your way is blocked or trapped, a resource is diminished, broken, or lost, you face a perplexing mystery and a tough choice, or you lose your way or are delayed. So we are going to say it's my choice because you rolled bad. I'm going to say you encounter a hostile denizen, and you face an environmental or architectural hazard.
Okay.
So, you are kind of rappelling down these floors as far as the rope will take you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you finally get there, the floor is very slippery and wet, and you're having a hard time finding any traction and friction because there's all these pebbles and water. It's imagine like the floor is covered in marbles.
Okay.
Right. And you're in this you're in this this catacomb tunnel that kind of stretches off and then turns around a corner, and it's very dark and very shadowy, and you're having a hard time seeing and having a hard time breathing because of the smoke from the meteor landed. You have no idea where Dawn went at all. Dawn is just gone.
Awesome.
And as you are kind of like trying to keep your balance, right? You hear a loud groaning sound, and a body sits up from the floor, like a body that was strewn underneath a bunch of rubble sits up, and like all the pebbles and dirt and glass shards that were buried, that were like layered over this body, kind of like fall to the ground. And it groans and it focuses its dead eyes on you, and it pushes itself to its feet, and it starts lumbering towards you. You are facing a zombie.
Excellent.
And that sounds like a clash. Okay. This is where are my notepad? Okay, so victory points. You don't know where Dawn is.
Nope.
This conflict, I'm going to say this is a long time coming, because you came in here knowing that there were going to be zombies.
Yep.
And so you have 2 victory points there. 2 victory points for the NPCs. There are 2 or more player characters. There are not. If your team is disadvantaged, no. Okay, so the NPCs have 3. Then we multiply. Okay, so you have to earn 2 victory points. The NPC has to earn 3 victory points. The NPC's goal is to get rid of you, to get you to go away.
Okay.
What is your goal here?
I'm gonna say that my goal is to maybe I don't know. I mean, we said earlier that my goal should never be to kill the thing that I'm against.
So like, what would killing a zombie accomplish that you want?
I mean, it would allow me to pass safely through the area. Maybe.
Okay.
Safer.
So your objective is to more safely pass through the area.
Yes.
Okay. Safe passage.
Lay the dead to rest. Oh, Marcos, I like that. Oh, I have a really cheeky question.
What?
So, you know how in some video games you use healing magic to hurt undead?
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply here?
Since I haven't decided whether or not that applies here, we'll see what the dice say.
Okay.
Okay, so this zombie is kind of like lurching towards you, just and like having a hard time keeping its balance because of all the pebbles and the water on the floor.
Right.
But it is moving towards you, and if you don't do something about it, it's going to attack you. What do you do?
I think the first thing I'm gonna do is I would like to do casting magical things and cast a spell I have called Verdant Reclamation. where basically an explosive growth of plants, even if nothing natural exists nearby, roots, flowers, trees, etc., sprout from the ground or out of the target itself and cover the surface of the target. So I would like to use Verdant Reclamation to actually have a vegetation just grow up around it and just kind of encase the zombie in it.
Okay, go ahead and roll me do the mage thing, and I think your ranger archetype applies here, so take +1 to the roll.
So I rolled a 5. That's +1 for mage and +1 for my archetype. So
it's a 7. All right, so the first thing that happens is we choose. I want to assign victory points first.
It is spring, Marcos. It's the second dot of spring.
Okay, so you can either have +0 victory points for both teams or +1 victory point to both teams.
I'm gonna go +1 to both teams.
Okay, so that means that as a result of this action, a situation will occur where you're both gaining an advantage on each other.
Yes.
Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna choose your do the mage thing result. On a hot seat result, A for effort, you succeed, but it's not what you dreamed it would be. Figures, they succeed, but a whole new problem is introduced. Select an option for both good and bad option lists. Or nice try, they do not succeed, but the problem can still be resolved somehow.
I'm gonna go with we succeed, but a whole new problem arises.
Okay. A whole new problem.
Hashtag DMCA.
Okay, so your advantage that you're going to get here is that this zombie is going to be caught up in all these plants and kind of locked up, and it'll fall over.
Uh-huh.
And as it falls over, it'll collapse the floor that you're both on. Because it's all very unstable because of the meteor that hit, right? And you'll come crashing down, and there will be 2 skeletons on the next floor that are armed with swords.
Oh no.
On the next floor, so you collapse and you hit the ground. You're on the ground. The zombie is on the ground, but there's 2 skeletons now with swords. You're surrounded by by coffins and on shelves. What do you do?
You're honestly expecting to have conjured carnivorous plants. That would be badass. What do I do? You know what? I'm going to test the waters here. And I'm going to cast another cantrip and use Well of Life on myself.
Okay.
So Well of Life is a cantrip that it infuses the target with the wording from the book says it infuses the target with glamour that heals anyone nearby or in contact with the cantrip. Focus can also be partially or completely consumed. So if I cast it on myself, anybody that is near me or comes in contact with me is also affected by it.
Okay, so if you roll well here, that'll mean the zombies are negatively affected by healing.
Yes.
If you roll poorly here, then we will establish that that's not the case.
Yep, we're giving it a shot. We're doing it live, folks.
Do the mage thing.
That is an 8.
Okay. An 8 is the same list of things.
Question.
It could... Go ahead.
Actually, it doesn't matter because it only makes it a 9. If my affinity also counted here.
Oh, and it does. Yeah, your archetype.
Yeah.
But
it's only a 9, so it still doesn't change anything.
Okay, so describe yourself casting the spell.
So as I cast the spell, I think that I would pull, like, maybe... What weapons did I say I have? I have a bow.
You should have a bow and an arrow and a sword.
Okay. I'm just gonna pull a bow from my quiver and just use the tip of the arrow, like, sorry, an arrow from my quiver and use the tip of the arrow to just, like, pierce the palm of my hand.
Okay.
Almost like, just to draw some blood. And use that as kind of like the source of my casting, and kind of like sprinkle drops of blood on the ground around me.
Okay. Do you choose A for effort, which is you succeed, but it's not what you dreamed it would be? Figures, they succeed, but a whole new problem is introduced. Nice try, they do not succeed, but the problem can still be resolved somehow.
Let's go A for effort, and goddamn it, weirdness.
What did Weirdness say?
Well of life. Instead of healing you, it resurrects more skeletons. Enjoy.
Okay. So you succeed, but it's not what you dreamed it would be. And then, do you want to give +1 victory points to both teams, or +0 victory points to both teams? If you take a victory point here, you will succeed.
We'll go +1. I'm gonna cheese it and succeed.
Okay. That means that you get your safe passage. So what's going to happen here is, technically, no, healing doesn't harm the undead.
Okay.
But as you cast the spell, it wards you against the undead. So, like, this area around you is shielded against the undead, and you can see them kind of, like, reeling and throwing their arms up in the air, trying to not be caught in, like, this green mist that surrounds you.
Okay.
I bet Dawn is glad she took this job already.
Right.
Okay. So the skeletons kind of like reel and back up and move away, and you are free to move past them safely.
Excellent.
What do you do?
I will move past them safely and delve deeper into the dungeon. Maybe also looking for Dawn, even though I have cast Veiled Eyes on her and will not notice her.
How long is that supposed to last, by the way? Just until narratively appropriate?
Let's see. There are no rules on how long that lasts.
Okay, so until narratively appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you delve deeper into dungeon, roll mage, thief, or fighter. Are you being sneaky still? I'd say it's kind of hard to be sneaky with the big glowing mist around you.
Yeah, so I'd say we're probably going to go fighter on this. Actually, no, we'll go mage on this because we've been using our magics.
Okay, so roll me plus mage.
That would be an 8.
Okay. On a hot seat, you can choose find an opportunity or gain a point of dungeon progress and encounter a danger.
Let's gain a point of dungeon progress and encounter a danger.
Okay, 2 progress and a danger. When you encounter a danger as part of Delve Deeper, roll +1.
That would be a 13.
13. On a good result, you choose one. I've read these options out earlier, but I will paste them into your Discord here.
Now I get to choose one?
Yep.
Let's say that our way is blocked or trapped.
Is blocked or trapped?
Yes.
Okay. So as you are, as you're walking past and the skeletons are kind of like retreating from you, a huge chunk of the ceiling collapses in on you. Roll me plus fighter to see if you can get out of the way.
That is a 6, so no, I
All right.
cannot.
Do you have options on a 6 because that was to do the fighter thing.
Options.
Options. Your options are experience a detrimental status change, experience a detrimental resource change, create some tangentially negative impact on the situation beyond your character's intent, or create a situation that threatens the character with their flaw, or the problem at hand can only be solved with a boon the character has had this whole time.
Wait, what was the one before the boon?
Threaten the character with their flaw.
You know what the hell? Let's threaten my character with my flaw.
Your flaw is what? Curiosity?
Yes.
Alright, so you just barely duck out of the way as this big chunk of the ceiling falls in front of you and crashes through the floor, creating another hole. This place is collapsing around you, even as you explore it.
Fantastic.
This better be worth those 500 coins. Better be worth it,
right?
And from beneath you, there is a shadowy, like the torches aren't lit, and so you're barely squinting your eyes and trying to make out what you can see, and you think you see a chest on the next floor down in the hole created by the collapse. The catch is, it's right in front of a collapsed floor itself, so there's a big pit in the way.
Ooh.
But you really want to know what's inside that chest.
Ooh, yeah, I do. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. We gotta go for it. We got to, right? Rescue the mimic. I mean, exactly weird. See, weirdness knows. Yeah, we're going for the chest.
All right, so how do you plan on getting down to this chest?
Do I have any rope in my supplies?
How many supplies do you have?
3.
3? I will let you spend a point of supplies to say that you have a rope.
Okay, we're gonna spend a point of supplies and say that I have a rope, and I would like to try to find someplace sturdy to affix it to, and rappel down to it.
All right, that sounds like a do the fighter thing check to me.
That is a 10.
A 10. You successfully find a pillar to wrap and tie the rope to, and you give it a good tug, and the pillar doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So then you toss the rope down the pit and kind of climb down, and then you can use the rope to swing across the pit on the second floor and land in front of the chest.
Excellent. We will do that thing.
What do you do?
I would like to use my thievery to open the chest.
All right.
I don't know
how do you go about opening the chest?
Let's see. I don't have any kind of magic that can help me with this. So do I have anything in my supplies, like a lock picking set or anything that I could use?
If you want to spend a point of supplies for a lock picking set, go right ahead.
What the hell? We'll do that. So that would be a do the thief thing?
Yep.
That's a 6.
Okay. You get to choose between these things here. I've already read this off a couple times, so I'm just going to paste it into Discord for you.
That's a 6. We are going to say there's going to be we're going to experience a detrimental status change.
A detrimental status change. Okay. So you grab your thieves' tools, right? And you kind of like pick the lock. Where did you learn to pick locks, by the way?
I'm gonna say it's probably something that my brother taught me.
Okay.
He used to get in trouble a lot.
Okay. So your brother taught you how to pick locks, and you're kind of putting that to use right now.
Yeah.
As you open up this chest, and you pick the lock, and you open up the chest, and a
I miss you, Jimmy.
A dart. Ooh, Jimmy. We've named one of them. Excellent. Put that in my notes. Jimmy the brother. A dart shoots from the top of the chest as you open it and plugs right into your shoulder.
Oh.
And you have been poisoned, so take the status poisoned.
Yay. Oh god. This is fine. It's all fine.
So everything is a little bit woozy right now, but the chest is open, and it has some clothes in it, some toys, and a knife.
Okay. Oh! Well of Life counteracts poisons because it's active. Does that count?
What was it that you rolled on to do the mage thing check for that?
I don't remember.
Hell, we'll say it.
It was a 9. It was a 9.
All right, we'll say it counts for now. So you're woozy for a minute, and it'll wear off in a little bit.
Okay.
But we did take the status change, so we're gonna experience that status change for at least a little bit until it's been in the way at least once.
Okay.
So you find nothing of particular value in the chest.
Okay.
And then what do you do once you finish opening the chest?
I guess... I feel like maybe the catacombs isn't the way to go right now.
Okay.
Like, if our focus is supposed to be on the cathedral? I mean, because clearly there's undead here.
Yep.
So, unless it's... Oh, but is it because of the meteor? Like, should we go down and find the meteor, the shooting star thing that fell? Oh, man.
You are here to investigate on behalf of the Duchess. So I would say that, yeah, the meteor itself is probably one of your objectives.
Then I guess we're gonna keep venturing downwards.
Okay. Are you going stealthily? Or, I would say, what we'll do here is we'll say that you're poisoned, you're a little woozy, so you can't be stealthy right now because you're still glowing with magic.
Yeah.
So we'll say that is when the poison kicks in.
Yeah.
So you can clear the poison status off right now. And roll me plus fighter to venture boldly into the unknown.
That would be an 8.
Okay. On a hot seat, choose one. Find an opportunity or gain 1 point of dungeon progress and enter a danger.
Let's gain a point of dungeon progress.
Okay, that is your 3rd point of dungeon progress. Only 1 more point and you will have reached the end of the dungeon.
Okay.
You encounter a danger. When you encounter danger as part of Delve Deeper, roll +1.
Marco said that the chest is the priest's dirty laundry chest. Roll +1, that will be an 8.
Okay. On a hot seat, choose 2 from this list right here that I'm pasting in again. Boom.
Discover, undermine. Let's do a discovery undermines or complicates your quest, and you face consequences of an earlier choice or approach.
Okay.
Trying to keep things interesting for you guys.
So, you face the consequences of an earlier choice or approach, and a discovery undermines or complicates your quest. Your invisibility spell, I mean, not your invisibility spell, your don't look at me spell, is starting to wear off.
Yay.
And as you're rappelling down the last bit of the distance you can go with the rope, you hear a thud, and Dawn collapses onto the ground next to you. She's injured.
Oh God.
And apparently, when you couldn't notice each other, she went on ahead and did the mission that she was being paid to do. And now she's curling up in almost the fetal position on the ground, kind of like hugging her ribs, hugging her side, and bleeding.
Okay. I am instantly then going to cast a Well of Life on Dawn.
Okay. Cast me, do the mage thing. Oh, you also have 3 points of mana, by the way.
Oh.
It doesn't cost you a point of mana to cast anything, but if you wind up taking a negative resource change as part of casting a spell, then you can succeed at casting the spell and spend a point of mana as your downside, and you just can't cast the spell if you have no mana.
Okay. That would be a 7.
Okay. On a 7, it's a hot seat. You get to choose from these.
I'm gonna go figures. They succeed, but a whole new problem is introduced. Select an option from both good and bad option lists.
All right, your good option lists are... Here is good, and here is bad. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It was just very faint.
Oh, it was super loud. Rather than reading all those out, I'm just gonna paste them so you can choose them.
Yep. I think from the good list, we're gonna go good news. Everyone create some tangentially positive impact on the situation beyond your character's initial goals.
Okay.
And then from the bad list, we're going to take another opportunity to create a situation that threatens the character with their flaw.
Okay. So we are... Oh. Okay. Okay, I'm thinking. How to twist this into threatening you with curiosity. We've done the chest. And you get a tangentially good result from this is from the spellcast, right?
Yeah.
Think. Okay. So you run over and you and describe your spellcast to me.
So I am going to go over to Dawn and I'm going to lay my hands over her wounds. And I think that I would pray over her like almost like I'm doing some kind of like prayer, like healing prayer, like say to is it Aktash?
Aktosh.
Yeah, Aktasha. Is it Aktash or Aktasha?
Aktasha is the house. Aktosh is the goddess.
Okay. Thank you. So yeah, she's saying a prayer to Aktasha as she's like, as Paisley lays hands on Dawn and just kind of like pulses magic into her.
Okay. And this is gonna charge Dawn up. Like, Dawn doesn't just heal, Dawn is up and ready to go. Like, Dawn pushes herself to her feet. And, I think Dawn's a brunette, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Dawn runs a hand through her brunette hair and kind of cracks her neck and goes, "Whew, that feels good." And then, you hear a very strange sound. A very weird noise. It's not a groan. It's not a chirp. It's not something that you could attribute to the collapsing of the cathedral or the catacombs. It's an eerie, spooky sound that kind of like echoes up from down the way.
That's not a good thing. I kind of want to go check it out, though.
Dawn says, "Well, at least I can see you now."
Right? Really sorry about that. That wasn't supposed to happen.
No harm, no foul.
Maybe we stick together this time?
That sounds like a plan.
All right, let's go check out that weird noise, cause why not?
Okay, and that means you're delving deeper, right?
Yes.
You are being sneaky or no?
If I am able to be sneaky now, yes, absolutely will be sneaky.
Yeah. The poison is cleansed. Your big glowing aura is gone. You can be sneaky again. What'd you get?
I rolled a 2. This one is 3.
All right.
Good news, you may not be dead. You're not dead. Bad news, you may soon be.
On a bad result, you encounter a danger. So roll me +1.
That is a 7.
On a hot seat result, choose 2. From this list right here.
Oh. We're obviously going to encounter a hostile denizen, because something is making that noise.
Alright.
And you said choose 2?
Yep.
And we're going to face an environmental or architectural hazard.
Okay. So you are coming along and you encounter yet another pit that kind of like delves down deeper into the catacombs, and the glow from the meteor that you've been getting closer to and closer to this whole time is pulsing and casting this weird blue light on everything, and the smoke smells like myrrh.
Huh.
But more importantly, as you are kind of looking over the pit and looking in the direction of the meteor, you finally encounter the source of the noise, and a ghost crawls up through the floor, and it's going...
Oh, okay.
And it's coming to lunge at you. What do you do?
What do I do? I am going to... I am actually going to draw my sword.
Okay.
As I do so, I would like to cast Eldritch Prime on the sword to set the blade on fire.
All right, roll me, do the mage thing.
And that would be a 6.
Okay.
Hi, Jax.
You can have the spell work if you just spend a point of mana. Because that's choosing to take a negative resource change.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
All right, so you have 2 out of 3 mana remaining. You have a flaming sword.
Here's my hydrate.
How does that? How do you look at? How do you cast this spell?
So, I will, as I pull my sword from the sheath, there's like metal buckles and things on my belt, so like I'm grazing the blade against the metal as I draw it, and I use that spark as the metal on metal like happens to ignite the blade.
All right, so you got a flaming sword here. Now you have a ghost. The ghost's objective is to possess you.
Oh hell no!
Your
No.
goal is to not be possessed.
Yeah, no. We've had enough of that. Thank you.
All right, so that's 2, and the ghost needs 3 points, and you need 2. So what do? This ghost is lunging at you. You have a flaming sword. How do you use it?
I would like to try to I would just like to try to strike through the ghost with my flaming sword and see what happens.
All right, roll me do the fighter thing.
That would be a 10.
All right, on a 10, your option list is, I swear I had it right here. There's your options for the 10. That is status update, resourceful, golden opportunity, or the gift horse.
Let's go create some tangentially positive impact on the situation beyond your character's initial goals.
All right. And then you can choose between having 1 victory point for your team, or 2 victory points for your team, and 1 victory point for the opposing team. If you choose the latter, you're going to win the encounter straight out, because you only need 2 victory points to win.
We're going to choose the latter then.
All right. So you take your flaming sword and you strike through the ghost, and the ghost writhes in pain and is evaporated, and then explodes.
Ooh.
Right? It explodes, and that shakes the floor.
Excellent.
And the floor starts to collapse beneath your feet, but Dawn jumps back and holds out a hand and catches you and pulls you up as the floor vanishes beneath your feet, and as the floor falls down, it creates basically a ramp that leads right down to the meteor.
That's awesome. So I'm gonna do the awkward friendship thing and let my hand linger a little longer than it should when Dawn catches me, and I'm gonna like thank her, and then I'll be like, so meteor, right? Yeah.
Did I detect a hint of floating? Is that what I
no,
just detected?
Maybe.
Maybe? Roll me do the bard thing.
Yay! My sword is absolutely still on fire.
Yep.
Oh!
Suddenly this
Oh!
Oh!
That's a 10! Even
That's a
with
10.
a -1!
Suddenly we're playing Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Alright. So the list of options is the same. Status update, resourceful, good news, golden opportunity, or the gift horse.
Golden opportunity. Yeah, we're gonna stick with the golden opportunity and create opportunity to achieve my fulfillment, which right now is friendship.
Alright. So you hold onto her hand just a little bit longer than you're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
And she doesn't stop you at all, and she blushes a little.
Oh, okay.
And then you are headed down into the meteor?
Yes.
Alright, so I'm gonna say that because you have a path right to the meteor, you don't need to roll delve deeper here to get the last point of dungeon progress. I'm just gonna give you the last point of dungeon progress.
Excellent.
That is your 4th point of dungeon progress. And then the end triggers. When you would gain a 4th point of dungeon progress, instead roll +1.
5.
5. On a bad result, you locate your objective and encounter 2 dangers.
Okay.
You could the danger list is in our DMs.
Yep. Is that the hostile denizens face the environmental architectural hazard, blah blah blah?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna say we obviously are going to probably encounter a hostile denizen.
Okay.
I am also going to say that we face a perplexing mystery or a tough choice.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Because I like to torture my characters and also the chat.
Okay, so let me find my notes.
Wait, Marcos, so is my heart. Is my heart on fire, or is my heart no longer intact? I don't understand. Also, thank you for hanging out, Hijacked. It's good to see you.
Okay. So you encounter a hostile denizen.
Yes.
There is a boss fight. I have a boss fight in my notes in case this happens.
Yay!
There is a figure with short black hair, pale skin, right? Long fingers that end in pointy fingernails, and fangs. With a black cape and a tall collar.
Is she a vampire?
Right? And it whirls around. It was bent over because it's standing on top of this meteor, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's bent over what you think at first is the meteor, but as it stands up and it whirls to face, you realize there's actually a person there.
Oh.
The falling star was a person.
Oh.
They have long blonde hair that comes down to about their chin. And they're wearing silver and blue. And there is a big sword kind of like scattered off to the side next to their empty hand. And this vampire is bent over and was feeding on this body until you showed up and it whirled around and it hisses at you. And this is where the boss fight happens. This boss fight has the objective of eating you. Eat you nom nom. Eat you nom nom. Objective, eat you nom nom, versus... You want to rescue the person that was the meteor?
Yeah, I want to rescue the person that was the meteor and also not get eaten. Nom nom.
Okay, so we're going to say that you need to have 3 victory points, and it has to have 3 victory points.
Okay.
Because this is a boss fight.
Yep.
So however the dice fall is how this goes.
Yay! We may have a TPK in the first session.
Okay, so this vampire has whirled around and is facing you and is hissing at you with its claws in the air. What do?
The first thing I'm going to do is... Hold on. I'm going to cast Oaken Shield on myself, which is a cantrip that fortifies the target with a protective elemental sheath.
Okay, I'm going to say Ranger applies to that.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll me do the mage thing.
And that would be a 10, because I rolled an 8, plus 1 for mage, plus 1 for archetype, so that is a 10. And so, yeah, basically, like, I'm gonna kind of like with the original cantrip. I'm like, as we hit the ground, I kind of kneel down and kind of assess the situation and grab a fistful of dirt. And as I stand back up, I slowly start to release the dirt from my hands. And as it kind of like reaches, like the movement kind of goes upwards with my body, and it also, like, as the dirt falls, like for a second, like there's like a shimmer of like almost like my skin looks like it's turning to stone, and then ripples back into like looking like normal. But now I've got that fortified shield.
Okay, and what did you choose for the most recent list I pasted you was the 10 plus list?
The 10 plus list. Let's go and I pick one of those.
Yep.
Let's go with. Well, let's go with experience a beneficial resource change.
Okay. We're gonna say that this that you We're gonna say that this adrenaline pumping through you right now clears you of that point of exhaustion.
Excellent.
That you've had all day. Also, you get to choose between taking 2 points and giving the vampire 1 point, or taking 1 point and giving the vampire no points.
We'll take the 2 points. Why not?
Okay. So the vampire is not afraid of your magic.
That's fine.
Right. The vampire has magic of their own, and they start to reel up, and their hands start to glow red when Dawn ducks in and starts taking slashes at this vampire with her daggers, and distracts him. And so his spell might misfire. To resist a spell is a do the mage thing check.
Okay.
So he's casting a spell on you. Roll me do the mage thing.
Damn it.
What'd you get?
That is a 3.
That is a 3.
That is a 3.
Okay, let me double check what happens on a 3 as far as victory points is concerned. The enemy team gains a victory point. It is currently 2-2 right now.
Oh no.
And this vampire hits you with these beams of red sparkles and like red mist, and blood starts to like lift out of your skin and seep through your oaken skin.
Mm-hmm.
And in a cloud, it all just reaches back up. And as he's ducking and weaving and dodging with vampiric speed around Dawn, he's inhaling this mist, and his muscles start to bulge.
Oh no.
What do you do?
Is my sword still on fire?
Your sword is still on fire.
If my sword is still on fire, I'm going to lunge at the vampire and just like strike with my fire sword.
Okay, now you've prepared for this twice now. You've got the flaming sword, which was from a previous spell, and you've also got the oaken shield going, so I'm going to give you a +1 story bonus to this roll.
Okay.
I'm also going to say, just +1 story bonus, do the fighter thing. So that's going to be a total of +2, I think, because you have +1 fighter.
Yes. God damn it, Marcos. That will be an 8.
An 8?
Yes.
Okay. This is why we playtest, because this brings something else into consideration that I hadn't thought of. What happens on a tie? So you have. Well, let's resolve this. Let's resolve this one step at a time. You get to choose from this list. A for effort. They succeed, but it's not what they dreamed it would be. They succeed, but a whole new problem is introduced. Selects an option for both the good and bad list. Or they do not succeed, but the problem can still be resolved somehow, but this method of solution is now blocked.
I'm gonna go A for effort. They succeed, but it's not what they dreamed it would be.
Okay. And in addition to that, you get to choose a victory point for both teams or a victory point for neither team.
I'm gonna go victory point for neither team.
Okay, you're both sitting at 2 victory points out of 3 victory points.
Yeah.
First person to get to 3 wins.
Yeah.
So you lunge and you impale this vampire. You stab it right through his gut, right? It's on fire. His robes are on fire now, and he looks you in the eye and just laughs and pulls himself deeper on your sword, because it doesn't matter if you stab him with it.
What?
He says, "You can't kill what's already dead."
But isn't fire supposed to destroy people like you?
He laughs.
Fairy tale. Right. Okay, cool.
So, what do you do?
Oh, Okay. So, since he has pulled he's pulled my flame blade into him, right?
Yep.
I have decided that I would like to cast Eldritch Prime again.
Okay.
To create like a wooden stake kind of thing. But I'm gonna cast it on my fist, and I'm gonna punch him in the heart. But as I punch him in the heart, my hand is going to turn into a wooden stake and just stake him through the heart.
Okay, so roll me do the mage thing to cast your spell.
+1 for archetype?
Sure. Yeah, +1 for archetype.
That would be an 8.
An 8? Oh man, this is intense.
Damn it. That's what we don't know, Cord. We haven't decided yet.
Probably what'll happen if you both get 3 at the same time is it'll be a race until somebody has more points than each other. So I have an idea as to what happens here, so I'm not gonna go to the options list right away. But you get to pick. Do neither of you get a point, or do both of you get a point?
I'm gonna go with still neither of us get a point.
Okay, you go. Describe your spellcast.
So, as I punch him, I probably say something like really bitchy to him, and then I say another prayer to Aktash, and just punch. And as my fist makes contact, it turns into a wooden stake, piercing through the vampire's heart.
Okay. As you go to make that punch, he knocks your, because remember he has the big muscles from the blood he stole from you. He knocks your fist aside, and you don't actually reach to punch him into the heart. You get the fist that is a stake now.
Okay.
But he blocks with vampire kung fu.
I know kung fu.
And then he goes to he grabs you by the shoulders and he goes to bite you in the neck. And that's when Dawn comes in from the left and kind of and shanks him in the side with both of her daggers at once and rips and pulls him off of your flaming sword and throws him to the ground.
Thank God for Dawn. I love you, Dawn. It's too soon for that. I'm sorry.
The vampire goes to stand up and instead throws his hand to the side, and as if through telekinetics, Dawn gets hit by something invisible and gets thrown back. What do you do?
Damn it. I gotta kill the vampire. I'm gonna try again with the wooden stake fist thing.
Alright, roll me do the fighter thing to land this punch.
That is a 9.
A 9. I was gonna say take +1 forward because you're using a spell that you've already cast. So that is a 10.
Okay.
That means that you get a victory point before he gets a victory point.
Yay!
So you jump on top of this vampire and plunge your stake into his heart, and he hisses and vows vengeance, and just poof, turns into a pile of ash and blows in the wind, leaving you out of breath, feeling a little weak from having your blood drained. And Dawn pushes herself to her feet and kind of stumbles on over and looks down at this peacefully sleeping figure. This man with the long blonde hair that's sitting directly in the center of where the meteor should have struck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now that you can see that this figure has landed here and you're not being distracted by the vampire, you can see there's like charred marks spreading out from his shoulders along the floor, like the shadow in that making the form of the shadow of large wings. Like, did you ever watch Supernatural?
No.
Okay. They never actually show you the wings on an angel. They just show you the shadow that the angel's wings cast.
Oh.
And that's what we're gonna call it for today.
Ah. Okay. Okay. That was amazing.
You liked it?
I freaking loved it.
Awesome.
I hope you guys had fun. 'Cause I sure the heck did. So, we come back next week.
Next week!
Oh my gosh. Where there's an angel, there's going to be demons, so yes. I mean, that's a thing. Heaven and hell and all that. No nom-noms for the vampire. Nope. I mean, he got like a bite in, but you know. Now it's time for the awkward dismount. That was super fun. But I want to binge now. But the rest of the show hasn't been written yet, weird. Oh, Luca, thank you so much for GMing this. It was super fun. I really enjoyed it. Where can people find you? Where can people
You can find me on Twitter at Evil Squeegee. You can find me on YouTube at Evil Squeegee Rar. That's Evil Here, I'll put it in chat. Evil Squeegee Rar.
Entertain me more.
Not yet, but eventually you'll be able to find me on Twitch at Evil Squeegee. And I think that's just about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this. And guys, thank you so much for hanging out today. I made a little bit of progress on my pumpkin, and we went on an adventure and we killed a vampire. That was fucking awesome. And like the music got super mellow as that was happening. It was hilarious. It was super fun. Thank you guys so much. I will be back on Monday. We'll be doing more crochet stuff. So thank you guys. Thank you, Marcos. And thank you, Weirdness, for hanging out. Thank you, everybody, for the bits, for the follows, for the subs, for everybody that came in today. I appreciate your faces. Yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday. Is there somebody that we want to host? Do we want to throw a raid to somebody? Let's see. Who is online?